We are live in Blog Talk Radio Studio. Woo, 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 woo. That calls for a celebration, and we want to welcome our female solution family because it's Blog Talk Radio, soul purpose healing, but it's also female solution. So, hey, welcome,
Blog
family.
Talk Radio. Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution. Join me, Naima Latif, every morning, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, as we bring you stimulating discussions about the issues affecting our lives. If you're listening online at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution, press the blue button that says follow and get our daily topics every morning directly to your email and your smartphone. Hi, I'm Naima Latif, Executive Producer of the Female Solution Radio Show. We invite you to call in 515-605-9325 and participate in this daily think tank as we examine the challenges we face and develop solutions that restore peace and harmony. We are global transformers, changing the world from the way it is to the way it should be. We are one. Wherever we live on this earth, we are one human family. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to extend a greeting to all the members of our family, whenever and wherever you may be listening around the world. To our family in China, Ni Hao. In India, Namaste. In Japan, Konnichiwa. In Korea, Annyeonghaseyo. In Russia, Zdravstuyte. In Germany, Guten Tag. In Poland, Dzień dobry. In France, Bonjour. In Spain, Hola. In Italy, Ciao. In Egypt, Ahlan wa sahlan. In Ghana, Akwaba. In Nigeria, Peleo. In South Africa, Sawubona. In Senegal, Nangadef. In Kenya, Jambo. In Israel, Shalom. In Pakistan, Afghanistan, Palestine, and Saudi Arabia, Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, and may peace be upon you all. Join us live on the on-air radio network called 727-731-5192. We want to talk to you.
Yes, yes, yes. We want to talk to you. That's why I'm here. But I want you to talk to me. October has been a whirlwind, literally, of activity and energy and just so much happening. We're going to get into it. We're only scheduling the show for an hour, but if you go over, we can go over time if you have something to say. But let me welcome my YouTube family with my tiny house introduction. Yes, yes, yes. All of those pictures in my YouTube introduction of Tiny House Living were taken by moi. And it's a journey I've been on that has taught me so much about minimalism and living a simpler life. Oh, so grateful, grateful. And now I'm in a 320 square foot home that feels like a mansion compared to where I've been. So thank you all for joining me this evening because we got a lot to talk about. October's been a just amazing month of lessons and activity that can teach us so much about where we are, our purpose in life, and so much more. But we gotta bring in the ancestors with some drumming, and of course, I always like to invite Becca Shea, the Christian artist, to welcome our ancestors with her heartbeat song that brings in the Native American influence in our culture today. So let's welcome our family of Native American music, energy, and of course, our ancestors to help us bring forth truth every day.
And his blood has ransomed people for God. From every tribe and language, people, every nation. Where warriors are falling, there's a resurrection coming. It's your time to rise and shine. Wake up, you sleeping giant. The wounds of injustice are being healed by the peace. Oh, Yahweh is bringing us power through unity. Where warriors are falling, there's a resurrection coming. Tribals come alive. Yeah, wake up, you sleeping giant. Your heartbeat, I feel it. Yeah, I feel your heartbeat. I feel it. Yeah, I feel your heartbeat. I feel it. I feel your heartbeat. I feel it. I feel it. I feel it. Yeshua, bring us together. Bring us together. We cry. Yeshua, bring us together. Bring us together. We cry. Yeshua, bring us together. Bring us together. We cry out, out your heartbeat, oh, your heartbeat. This is the hour to know whose side to stand by. Raise up a standard in battle for every fellow tribe. Our warriors are fighting, there's a revival igniting. Search for such a time. Yeah, arise, you blazing fire. Faith and stand firm and listen to your destiny. The rhythm of our Father moves with victory. Where warriors are fighting, there's a revival igniting. So, my soul, God, and arise, blazing fire. Your heartbeat, I feel it. Yeah, I feel your heartbeat. I feel it. Yeah, I feel your heartbeat. I feel it. I feel your heartbeat. I feel it. I feel it. I feel it. Yeshua, bring us together. Bring us together. We cry. Yeshua, bring us together. Bring us together. Together we cry. Yeshua, bring us together. Bring us together. We cry out, out for your heartbeat, oh, your heartbeat.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. We give thanks for the spirit of our ancestors joining us tonight to bring unity to the message of retaliation versus your highest truth. That's what we want. We want our highest truth to come forth. And I'm just so grateful to be here. Friday didn't have any power after the big hurricane Milton came through. Milton, by the way, was the name of a governor of Florida, and he's a slave owner. So that's part of the reason that some people think Milton had to come through to clear up retaliation. But I heard the word retaliation 3 times in a 24-hour period before and after the hurricane Milton came through. And so my mind, my brain said, okay, what's with this retaliation? Well, the first time I heard retaliation was I was watching a YouTube video of a young man explaining why he felt a Hurricane Helen had to go through sundown towns in North Carolina, Tennessee. He believed that it was retaliation for all the slave activity, slaveholders, and the cruelty and the hatred toward the slaves. Okay, that was his. So he kept talking about retaliation. Our ancestors were sending retaliation to North Carolina, the Appalachians, because of the cruelty toward slaves. Oh, wow, interesting. So that was the first time. The second time the word retaliation came up was in a meditation that our sister Jody Susan called forth on Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday before Hurricane Milton hit Florida. My sister Jody Susan. Jody was a host on the Female Solution for a year or more, I think. And she sent out a message she sent out an invitation inviting her Facebook friends to join her for meditation for Milton, the hurricane coming to Florida. So I jumped on that right away. We were on there. We were revved up. We were waiting for 8 people to show up. We got 8 people in there. And Jody felt that well, after the interruption, I have to say we had an interruption in our Zoom call with just chaos, and people came in from I don't know where, disrupting the whole thing, drawing little figures and F you, F that, just cursing at us. And someone actually threw up a dick pic on the Zoom video. It's like, whoa. And I think we were all just kind of shocked at what was going on. And then finally, Jody figured out how to eliminate those people. And when we started, we got back, we refocused on our meditation for Milton. And Jody saw within the Milton eye of the storm, she saw retaliation and grief and anger in the storm. So Jody is very gifted at telepathy and seeing and channeling, and she just has many gifts where she sees on a metaphysical level, a spiritual level. So she saw retaliation. I thought, that's interesting. It's the second time I'm hearing that word again. So there's something to these hurricanes whirling around, causing chaos. And then when our meditation was over, I felt like all that chaos that interrupted our Zoom call was a representation of Milton or the hurricane, because it was like, whoa, world chaos, chaos, confusion, confusion, cursing, cursing, sexual pictures, sexual pictures, sexual pictures. And then boom, we were back focused. And I tell you, within, I would say 2 hours, I looked on my phone and there was a telegram message that said, unusually, the hurricane had been downgraded to a category 2 instead of a 3. Now, most of you might think, well, that's just a coincidence. Well, that's what my son said about the word retaliation. Oh, it's a coincidence. Well, the third time, number 3, again, that's a powerful 3, number 3. Retaliation showed up after the storm, and it was a YouTube video that popped on my screen about Jay-Z uh, doing retaliation against someone who accused him of doing some, wicked things. Okay. And it was in capital letters, retaliation. I'm like, there it is again, 3 times. So I don't believe in coincidences. Synchronicity is always speaking to me. And I always look at these events that happen, especially 3 times. Retaliation showing up, retaliation, retaliation. It's a word you don't hear very often, but it showed up 3 times within a 24-hour period. I think we should talk about the retaliation of storms that come into our life. And especially October, with all this energy of destruction and death that we've seen from Helene and Milton. There's a message for us from the universe of retaliation, because retaliation represents vengeance. I want to get payback. And yet what we did in our Zoom meditation, we sent love, compassion, and forgiveness into Milton. And it caused Milton, I believe, and there were lots of people. Let me just say, there are lots of people praying in Florida, because it was on my Facebook page. People were praying all over the place for Florida, and from not just in Florida. So I believe for some reason the universe wanted us to see our power, for one, to change weapons that come against us. There's a scripture about that. No weapon formed against us shall prosper. When you are serving the Most High, or your highest truth, living in your highest truth, no weapon formed against you will prosper. So a lot of people died, a lot of people suffered, and there was a lot of destruction in both of these hurricanes. But as for me and my household, none of that. I slept in my granddaughter's room the night of the hurricane. After we lost power, I decided to go sleep at the big house. And when those winds started swirling and I could hear them, I just went into my prayer language, my spirit prayer language. And I laid there praying because the winds were so loud and so strong. And I fell asleep. And next thing you know, the sun was coming up. Well, at least daylight showed up. And you go outside, and a lot of trees got trimmed, as they usually do in hurricane season. And I feel just the grace and the protection of the Creator is and always over my family, because I am serving in my highest truth, and I'm serving in a divine purpose in this journey that I'm in my 60s especially, and into 70s, 80s. I'll be getting higher and higher, evolving. I'll be evolving into more truth. When you are consciously serving the universe in your highest truth, that is in love and forgiveness, then you are going to be protected in these chaotic times, crazy times. And you don't have to worry or focus on retaliation, which is what is happening in the biggest Diddy reality show. Oh my goodness, it's so entertaining. I'm running out of popcorn. Because what we're finding in the storm of Diddy reality show is that evil is being revealed like never before. Maybe some of you may be new to the revelations in the music business and Hollywood, but the thing that comes out in the Diddy reality show that we're watching, sex, drugs, and alcohol are the primary spirits. I'm gonna say spirits because when you end up in jail and you got all these tapes on people who are doing sex things and all this stuff, it's a spirit and one, just like the hurricanes, the spirit speaks to us about the energy surrounding us in our country and in the earth. And the biggest revelation of the Diddy reality show is sex, drugs, and alcohol. And if you don't know the details, just go to YouTube. It's full of details. I'm telling you, you can get hundreds of videos now on people. They've even got some of the pictures and videos of the people who were in the party. That's out on the black market. And so sex, drugs, and alcohol are what put the Diddy reality show on full display now. Sex, drugs, and alcohol. You got to give the universe an applause because we are learning the dark secrets of the music industry, of Hollywood. They're all involved, even politics. Politics is involved. We're going to see everybody coming out on these pictures and videos because the universe is in charge. Just like the hurricanes, the universe is in full charge. Everything is in divine order. Woohoo! So we don't have to worry. There were so many people on Threads, Facebook, YouTube, who expressed their anger and their fear about the hurricanes because some people died, some people their homes were destroyed, flooded, all that. And my heart goes out to them. And some of the comments I made is that we all are learning lessons from this. Everybody's learning lessons. Just try as much as you can in your circumstance to say, what is the lesson for me and what type of adjustments do I need to make in my life so that I don't suffer so much? The only thing that happened in my neighborhood was trees got trimmed. We got lots of trees and they all got trimmed. Thank goodness. The strong trees did not fall and some of the weaker ones did. Not many, but the most activity in our neighborhood was tree limbs and leaves all over the place. So we all were busy when the sun came out and the next day raking up branches and leaves. And some people in the Tampa, St. Petersburg, Sarasota area were having to bury people. My heart goes out to them for the lessons that they have to learn in death and suffering. And I'm just sharing my experience that when you are living your highest truth, you're not going to have to suffer as much, but the universe is going to bring all of us lessons. I was out with the birds and bees for 2 days. I just sat there. I cooked my meals outside. I had a little propane burner because we didn't have power for 2 days. No Wi-Fi. Thank goodness. I was celebrating that there was no power, no Wi-Fi to deal with. Air was cleaner. So again, let us continue to pray for those who've lost material things, but they're still alive. So I give thanks for the lives that were saved. And we want to, from this point on, understand the October energy update. So that's why I'm going to bring on Matt and Joy Kahn. These are some of my favorite teachers. Oh my goodness. Matt Kahn, I met Matt Kahn. I have to remember Mama AZ would know. I went to visit Mama AZ in Arizona. It's probably been 15 years or more. I'm going to pull up her picture and figure it out. But I went to see Mama AZ because Matt Kahn had a meeting in Arizona, and both of us, Mama AZ and I, drove from her place to Matt Kahn in Sedona. Oh, beautiful place. We drove there in Sedona and we had the most amazing time in Sedona. Just beautiful. And we listened to the message of Matt Kahn. And after that message, we were going to camp out in Sedona. And 2 people came to us and said, no, we don't want you to camp out. We got 2 hotel rooms. You can have one of them. So they gave us one of their hotel rooms. We spent the night there. It had a jacuzzi in it. And the next morning, there was this beautiful brook flowing behind the hotel. And I just sat there in amazement, giving thanks and praise for this water just flowing with rocks in Sedona with the most heavenly energy. So as you listen to Matt Kahn, who is just always bringing peaceful encouraging, uplifting messages. May you prepare yourself for the next hurricane, for the next reality show. Prepare yourself to start operating in your highest truth, which is love and purpose and forgiveness, and stop the retaliation. That's not your business. That's the creator's business. That's the universe's business. Just like the category 4 to a 2 in Florida, because the universe connected with our meditation, with our love, with our energy, and shifted. And that's a lesson for all of us is you can change your circumstances, your environment when you're focused on love, forgiveness, and the power that we all possess in our minds and our hearts to change the weapons against us when we are serving the Creator in love and truth and forgiveness. So, thank you all for joining me. I'm going to bring up Matt Kahn now. Let me see. Do I need to take a break? Maybe take a break. I'll take a break and get ready. You might want to get your pencils out. But Matt Kahn and Joy are just the most beautiful, harmonizing couple, full of wisdom and spiritual understanding. But I'm going to play a commercial break, and then we're going to come back and listen to powerful couple.
The Female Solution Global Radio TV show invites you to an invigorating, empowering, interactive conversation with our team of hosts Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Time. Start your week with Monday Morning Mindfulness with Zelda Speaks. Tuesdays, Gathering of the Griots with Asada. Wednesdays, Repairing Family Relationships with Naima and co-host Kareem Hamid. Thursdays, Veggie Brunch Live with Angela. Fridays, Health and Well-Being with Beata. Saturdays, tune in 12 noon to 2 p.m. Central Time. First Saturday, Global Talks with Xana. Second Saturday, Walk in Your Divine Authority with Mama Joy. Third Saturday, Move Around with Deborah. Fourth Saturday, be a judge on the virtual Teens, Tweens, and Tots Talent Contest. And fifth Saturday, join us on location as we conversate at the Elevate Cafe, owner Jackie Brooks. Sundays, join us 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Time for Soul Purpose Healing with Beata. Go to thefemalesolution.com to join us on our video or audio live streaming platforms. Listen at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution. Call in on the Blog Talk Radio Network 515-605-9325 or call in and comment on the On Air Radio Network 727-731-5192. We want to hear from you.
Yes. We want to hear from you tonight as we listen to Matt and Joy Kahn. And I might be interrupting some occasionally just to bring in a different thought to what they're saying and to just really compliment what they're saying. As you listen, think about the lifestyle you've been leading. Is it living up to your highest truth? And in October, we're only halfway through. We're barely halfway through October. I think it's going to be even more adventurous come next 2 weeks. Just wait. There's more to come. And they're going to share, though, what our focus should be and why things are happening the way they are. So I hope you enjoy this. I won't be playing the whole thing. I don't own the rights to this video. This video is for educational purposes only. And I'm going to switch my banner here just so we're reminded that I don't own the rights to the music or video played. All videos, audios, or internet photos displayed or played are for educational purposes only. This is a fair use applied here. So let's get busy with, if you don't know Matt and Joy Kahn, I think you're just going to love these two. They're just so sweet and so calm and peaceful. and they just bring such a beautiful energy to an understanding and overstanding to what's going on in our lives.
Whew, it's going to be a big.
Hello, beloved ones, and welcome to this October Energy Update. I am Matt Kahn. This is Joy Kahn, and we are so honored to be here with you and to meet with you and connect with you in this video and to share with you why October perhaps is one of the most precedent-setting months of this year.
Whew, it's going to be a big one. And usually we have a couple of days to get ready for all of this, but October started immediately.
Yes.
So we're going to go over the energy of October and why we are really deeming this a big ending and how the numerology is really helping us to understand what's going on with the world and the events, how that's predicting what's next for all of us, and what we can do about it. Some things that we can do to make sure we don't get caught up in stress, overwhelm, anxiety, and those things that keep us from really staying present with our lives.
Absolutely. And with so many things happening in the world, to global conflict, to the hurricanes we just saw in North Carolina, to the incoming hurricane that's hitting within the next 5 hours in Florida, even the next hurricane behind that, and all the things that are happening astrologically. A lot of times when we are sensing these energies, sometimes as spiritual beings, we spiritually recondition ourselves and we start to have only very few files, and we tend to make the files of interpretation about us, that everything we're thinking and feeling must be some unresolved trauma, some unresolved belief, something from my past. And really the benefit of tuning into higher wisdom from the universe is so that you can start to understand universal law. You can start to understand the cycles of creation, as Joy so beautifully will always describe in such incredible detail. And you start to understand your place in the cosmos, the opportunity given each month for us to grow and evolve on a soul level, how it pertains to the evolution of ourself personally and collectively on this planet.
Now, I spent 2 days outside looking at bees and birds. I was like, that's the wisdom of the universe. That's why I was so grateful for this hurricane that brought me to that place of quiet peace and observation of nature. Birds, bees, and I had a ladybug land on my cell phone, even though I wasn't really using it because I couldn't get any bars. A ladybug lands on my cell phone. And I thought, okay, what's that about? And then the bees are buzzing around. And I watched this bird going from tree to tree to tree to tree. It was just so peaceful and amazing. And that's what he's talking about, tuning into a higher truth, your higher truth. How do you connect with nature? Now I'm going to speed up on this and go to a little further on this.
Option is Mother Earth is just becoming or making her message apparent that there are certain patterns that were created to help the evolution of light beings that have lived up their usefulness. And so Mother Earth is helping to sweep these outdated patterns out of the atmosphere of the planet by awakening the consciousness of all of her children, and the higher vibrational consciousness of her children is evacuating and evaporating these darkened patterns of shadow and distortion that just don't serve our planet anymore in their current form. And so that we're seeing a lot of revelations of corruption. We're seeing the exposure of the ring involving P. Diddy. We're starting to see things on a governmental level. People are talking about the ability to manipulate weather, and why is weather so conveniently happening in all these ways, and how come the cities that are so affected by catastrophe are then being built into 15-minute cities. And there's all these things that are occurring because the higher pattern that I feel that I can see tracking in all this is when you were talking about the ending of a 9-year cycle. The ending of a 9-year cycle was the end of a paradigm where humanity hid from its collective courage and chose caretaking over courage. And when you're in a pattern of caretaking over courage, you say, I give my power to an authority figure that I've decided has the ability to caretake for me or take care of me as I continue to hide from the courage that only I can receive. And when we hide from our courage by choosing an authority figure as a caretaker, we eventually will find the person we thought that was going to take care of us is more so taking advantage and imprisoning versus caretaking. And that can come with a lot of disillusionment. That can come with a lot of abandonment. That can come with a lot of heartbreak, can come with a lot of mental confusion because we promised ourselves that they would be our caretakers, but that wasn't a promise that was mutual.
And this is what I've seen, or I'm seeing with these hurricanes in North Carolina, the destruction that the people have been depending on someone to come and help and save them versus having what he said, the courage not only to ask for help within the community, but the courage to send out meditations, prayers, to get the help you need, and then to do whatever you can. And then things happen. The community, we can't depend on the government for anything, but the community built up the courage to help one another. This is what's happening in Florida, North Carolina, and all the places that were hit with these hurricanes. Courage is being built up in the communities first to help one another.
And so we promised ourselves as people would caretake for us as we hid from the courage and power we were afraid of. And of course, so perfectly, it leads us to the completion of a 9-year cycle where we are being put in a position to reclaim our power collectively and individually, to reclaim our power to say, I now am emboldened and inspired to embody my courage, to take my power back from caretakers who are actually imprisoning the collective power of humanity instead of nurturing it. And so when we see the exposure of power, we see characters that are playing the exact roles they were created to play to help the world be so dumbfounded by what is revealed, which will continue to be revealed. And as we enter this 9-year that Joy describes so perfectly and precisely, 2025 will be the continual exposure, but the time where humanity says it's time that we remember that we are the ones that employ authority figures. And if we don't like the way the world is being run, it's time for us to reclaim our power. And all of us will play different roles into that. There are people that will certainly take to the streets because they'll feel motivated to play that role on the ground level. There will be many of us who will want to anchor light and hold an energetic capacity for all of this. And every role is right for whoever is inspired to resonate with it. And so as we end this year, which seems like we're ending it on quite a catastrophic level, it is the catastrophic revelation of what is happening on this planet to break the spell of needing an authority figure to be our collective caretakers. And how can we start to reclaim the courage and power to not only reach out and help rebuild our cities, to help those in need who don't have support, and more importantly, to band together as humanity and say, if the leaders are making decision that is not of the will of the people, then it's the will of the people to make up their mind and decide to sweep out of this planet what is no longer supporting our evolution. And we do this through the growing and expansion of our consciousness and the empowerment of our decision making. Because again, the end of this year and beginning of the new year is where I choose courage over staying hypnotized and asleep through the belief in caretaking or being taken care of by authority figures.
Absolutely. And, just look at when you were talking about the layers of awareness, how we see this at different levels of consciousness, we also experience the signs at those levels of consciousness.
Yes.
So even seeing the language that's being used and how we're moving through this is an opportunity for us to recognize that as soon as something becomes an awareness in the public, when the public begins to see all of these things, which is happening now at a rapid pace, As that occurs, it's an indication that we're actually being moved through this. So your decision to open up to the information, to see what's happening, is your decision to flow with events rather than try to control your experience. We'll talk more about that as we get into how you can really navigate the stress. But before we do, I wanted to talk about how at these layers of experience, we have the language of these storms are happening. They're like 100-year event. We can see these cycles happening in repetitive motion related to the earth. The earth tends to move in these cycles that happen in 100-year cycles, 1,000-year cycles, 12,000 year, 24,000 year cycles. We experience all of these cycles within cycles. One of the things that happened in October to really help us move through the 9 is the experience of witnessing an explosion of a star that happened 1,000 years ago that's happening again now as a sign of the times of this cycle. We're actually part of a cycle of how long it took for this star to have the next layer of that explosion, which is really cool on the surface. It just is an indication of this awakening. This star explosion happened at a time that was really connected to other events that was ushering in unity consciousness. And I think that's so powerful for us to look at that from just a layer of information, not necessarily how it's going to impact how we feel, but the information that we are moving through a new stage of unity, of connection, of community. All of that is actually being ushered in a time that looks like it's breaking apart, coming undone. The corruption is an all-time high. We're then also experiencing these other astrological events. A comet has come in. It's behaving as if it's a moon. We have 2 moons right now that are impacting our emotions. And when that happens, the gravitational alignment of the moon and the earth stirs up more emotion. So our ability to release these old fears and to face things now becomes a little bit easier, even if it's more uncomfortable. It actually becomes easier to release these things. So that I can feel you. It's like, it's actually really exciting when I start to look at all of these pieces. It's so profound, the astrological support that we receive.
Absolutely. And so when a comet has been kind of caught into the current of the moon, and so we have a comet and a moon floating together, which creates almost a double moon scenario astrologically. You think of a moon as like a magnifying glass that brings unresolved shadow to the surface to be activated, triggered, felt, and freed from our energy field as part of an alchemical process. That's often what the moon represents. Which is why we always have such interesting superstition around full moon and all that kind of thing. So if we have a double moon, it's like a double magnifying glass. And so when you see all of these catastrophic weather patterns like hurricanes, or we're seeing incredible conflict, intense conflict between countries like in Israel and in Gaza and Lebanon, and we see all these things and you think, oh my God, I'm feeling the energy of those things. Yes, that's true. And then you learn about the double moon and you go, oh, maybe the double moon is making it even more intense. And yes, that's true. Mm-hmm. And it goes back to what I was saying before, which is there are truths, and there are truths that lead to bigger truths and bigger truths. And then the illusion can be as thinking that one truth is the highest of them all, what is just creating the space for the next highest truth. But all of these things are influencing us. All of these things are making it intense for us just to live a life of normalcy on planet Earth. And for us personally, feeling this intense double moon, feeling the energy of the nebula, the star that's echoing back from biblical times. I think even tonight we have the 4 horsemen astrological configuration. And of course, we have all of these intense weather patterns.
And the X flares.
And the X flares.
Oh my.
Yeah. So we have double moons, X flares, nebulas. It's literally, we are creating a bowl of spiritual Lucky Charms. And all of this to say that sometimes it will make you more emotional. Sometimes it will make you want to withdraw from social activity. Sometimes it will feel more nurturing to kind of hide in patterns. Like maybe I'm going to binge Netflix. Maybe I'm going to withdraw. It can also make, for us, we experience it as actual pure physical exhaustion, almost like your adrenals are just suddenly tapped and you just have no energy whatsoever. So as we're moving through all of this, and I think, we both have some tips to offer along the way, what I would suggest first and foremost is to realize you're a part of an evolutionary cycle that is not unrelated to what's happening in the world, but is also bigger than the details happening in the world. And that just by you allowing yourself to be mindful of this precedent setting time that we're in, that we're moving through from October through November and December and beyond, and that October really celebrates the end of this cycle and really ushers in energetically the new year before we have decided calendar-wise that it's the new year, that I'm a part of this evolutionary process. I've brought my light to the planet to help expand the consciousness of the world because I'm helping Mother Earth awaken the consciousness of her children, because it's the expansion of their light that sweeps out the energy that no longer serves this planet. And if I can just slow down just a little bit, if I can savor my breath just a little bit more, and if we can remember that any healing process that you want to employ, it's not being done to control your emotions. It's not being done to try to make things feel one way or another. It's just the thing to do if it strikes you as, here's how I'm going to nurture myself and show myself the kind of support that allows me to be aware of how beautifully the universe is always carrying and supporting me from one breath to the next.
Yes, because all of these things that are happening, they're happening in a bit of a feedback loop. No matter what it's so funny, we think about these in levels as if there's some sort of linear hierarchy, but really it's happening in these cycles that are circling around each other. So you have inner circles of experience and outer circles of experience, right? The astrology might be out here, the astronomy out here, the bigger divine picture out here. And then more closer to home is how you feel, which is the instigation of dreams. You're going to have a lot of dreams that respond, especially as we get closer to the full moon happening, I think mid-month, maybe around the 17th. I don't have it in front of me, but we're just about a week out from this incredible full moon that's going to be impacted by, of course, the double moon energy. So double full moon, double the dreams, double the impact that's happening in the body. That inner circle is going to be feeling the stirring of this. And so for many of you, you might be feeling a bit of the anxiety that arises because of that. And sometimes we're just not aware of something. It's like you feel the anxiety of this energy moving in and you're getting the feedback from the outer world, but maybe we're busy with our day and we haven't taken a moment to just notice. So instead of noticing, we tend to control it. I'm anxious. What should I do? Maybe I need to fix something. Maybe there's something to fix in me. Maybe there's something to fix in my life. When I'm unconscious of something, I tend to go, what's wrong in our business? What's wrong in our house?
Right.
This has got to be because we haven't done the laundry. If only we had done the laundry, I would feel much better right now. And then I go, all right, that doesn't make any sense. Let me come back to, there's nothing wrong. All is well. And so it causes me to notice anytime I'm in a place of wanting to control the outside world in order to release something that is being revealed through me. We're not identifying through our dreams or our anxiety something that's wrong, right? We started off that way, in the conversation. If we're just really not identifying what's wrong, we're noticing what's being revealed.
So I want to end it there because we're running out of time. So much information there from astrology and metaphysics and spirit. If you're interested in hearing that whole video, which is excellent, you can find it on YouTube. It's called October Energy Update 2024. The end is here. I was just so glad to come across that. Well, actually, I get emails from Matt Kahn all the time, and I don't always read his emails. But this one I read earlier today. I was like, oh, let me watch this. And sure enough, I thought it would be very, very helpful. So if you have any comments or questions, raise your hand in Blog Talk Studio or Let's see. I've got a hand up. I believe that's Mama AZ. Mama AZ, your mic is open. Welcome, my sister.
Thank us. Dr. V, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I am so grateful for this information. I listened to that, and I think I sent it to you, but in everybody else, I could send it to. Hook up, and I'm like, no, this can't be. I'm in a twilight zone. So I cut my phone off. I didn't cut it back on, I don't think, until the next day, because the energy was so crazy.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, I know she just said this is in the twilight zone. So the next day I double checked, and it was. I think you sent it to me, and I'm like, wow. That goes to show you, Dr. V, of the energies and the healing that must take place, and the prayers. I was there from Florida as well. And I called Sister Beth and to check in with her as well. So thank you. Just thank you for thank us for your insight, Dr. V, and clearing up and confirming some things. And I won't get into that right now. I'm just grateful.
And I've got your picture up from Sedona on YouTube. If you're watching, anybody watching YouTube or Facebook, that picture of Mama AZ was taken when she and I journeyed together to Sedona, and we found this room with this amazing background. That background was actual window of Sedona. It wasn't a picture, it was a huge window. Remember that? And you're standing at a podium, ready to speak to me and whoever was.
God.
Yeah.
Oh, Dr. V, that I was doing a mock lecture.
Yes.
And I thought you were going to get the one that I slept in the tent in the cabin.
No.
We didn't have to sleep in the campground, and I just pitched my tent up in the kitchen, I think, or someplace, and slept in my tent.
Yeah, it was it was a beautiful experience for me, especially my first trip to Sedona in Arizona. But that picture just represents the timing, the divine timing, that we had time for you to do a mock lecture before Matt Kahn started his lecture, and then everything just flowed together in that moment and afterwards, because we were gifted with a room that we didn't have to pay for. I mean, it was just so amazing. And that's the unity consciousness. I'm just going to say one more thing. Unity Mama AZ and I had such a unity consciousness during that journey. And that's what Matt Kahn and his wife Joy are talking about today. The new year starts in October. That's why we're at the end of October, I think. We're starting the 2025 energy of 9, they're saying, in next month. So get ready to let go of all the corruption, and it's going to be revealed, and reclaim your power with unity consciousness. So Mama AZ, thank you for being present.
Now wait just a minute, Dr. V. You said next month in November. I didn't hear Matt Kahn say that.
Well, his wife said the 8. We're moving from an 8 to a 9. And it's not going to happen in the usual January energy. It's going to happen before that. 2025. Go back and listen to it. That's what I wrote it down.
Okay.
Somewhere. And I said, wow, that's interesting. Because, where you think January 1, New Year, 29. No, the energy of all that is going to happen before January. So be prepared and start reclaiming your power. That's what this is all about. The corruption is
Okay.
being revealed big time. A Diddy reality show, everything's coming into play. We're gonna see all the people who've been hiding behind the mask and all that, and we're gonna really be empowered to be courageous and start making different choices and changing some of the things in our life. So everybody get ready, get ready, get ready. As that famous preacher, he's going to be revealed too. Get ready, get ready, get ready. He's in the Diddy reality show. It's going to all come out. So if we don't have any more comments or questions, Zelda is in the, let's see, she's in Facebook. Grand evening, beautiful queen sister. Very enlightening. Thanks for sharing. No wonder I feel so, help. I know I've had this cough on and off for like 2 weeks, and I just have not been able to shake this cough. No, and I've done so much to get rid of it, but I realize with what I'm doing with the synchronistic human family and all that, and with all the double moon activity, my throat chakra is being affected by all this more than anything. And I guess you could include the lungs. So that would be the throat chakra as well as the solar plexus, I guess. Heart chakra. So my heart chakra and my throat chakra are really being tested, tried, and shaken up, and I'm believing purified because I'm more conscious of my communication and how I communicate, and not barking like a dog. Is because the coughing has reminded me that I can tone down my communication. So tomorrow, Zelda is going to be greeting us with meditation and breathing, and her show is going to be How to Avoid Senior Scams on Monday morning mindfulness, 7 to 9 Central Standard Time on YouTube Higher Learning TV show. And tomorrow on the calendar is really indigenous celebration, but it's also labeled as Columbus Day. So everybody should do a little research if you don't know already some of the lies that were told about Columbus, and just come into empowering yourself with that history about indigenous versus Columbus, what happened, what really happened, and then sharing that with people who still are stuck on Columbus Day because he didn't do anything. He didn't discover a damn thing. We are already here. The natives were here, and he was in the Caribbean. He was a Sephardic Jew. Oh, there's so much about him that we did not learn in grade school or elementary school. And we can come off of this Columbus Day mess and start acknowledging our Native American heritage, which I'm doing with my native linens. And I may start doing quilts because I worked on my grandmother's quilt today. I was patching up my quilt that my grandmother made for me. And I realized, okay, I can do this. I can make a new quilt because this quilt is 50 years old. And I realized that I need to start making new quilts. And Zelda says, happy birthday to Patrick Bradley, former com ed engineer who straightened out Lakeshore Drive. Oh, that's a black man who knew how. Now sharing and caring. So that's a big week. When I grew up in Chicago, Lakeshore Drive had this big curve downtown that you had to go around, and it was kind of scary. But this guy, Patrick Bradley, figured out how to straighten it out. Who would have thought? There's so many gifts and talents in the communities that we grew up in, and historically that have not been acknowledged. And we have an assignment now to bring out the truth with courage. And thank you, Zelda, for bringing out that truth. So,
Dr. V.
Yes, ma'am.
Dr. V.
Yes.
Thank you, my sister. Thank us. Do you know you just confirmed some things about the company that I'm considering, the Earthing Company. And that's all that I choose to say about it right now, because if you choose, I'm really asking the universe to bring you and myself together, Dr. V, because all of my life, I've been groomed up to this point, and I had no idea that the universe was going to connect me to you, Dr. V, and your garments, your regalia that you are building. And that's all I need to say over the air. These are special times in my life, and I'll be going to the powwow in Aquarius Town, meaning Tucson, Arizona, Wednesday. So I will get additional clarity on all that you and Dr. Lateef have presented to me in this lifetime.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Thank God.
Thank us is right.
God.
Thank us. We are united soul spirits coming together. And Zelda says, hi, Mama AZ. And we give thanks.
Hey.
And we are so grateful. And somebody, Kwame, is in YouTube land, and he's sending messages about the storm. The strongest storm to strike the state was Hurricane Hazel on October 5th, 1954, as just 4 hours, which made landfall as a Category 4 hurricane 70 years ago. So, yeah, there's a lot going on in the planet historically represented this in this month of October. So do your homework, do your research, and just be empowered to know how you can, if a weapon, recognize a weapon coming against you, you have the power that it will not affect you. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. That's Isaiah 54:17. I stood on that the whole time that Milton was threatening, as well as Psalm 91. I dwell in the secret place of the Most High. So power up, brothers and sisters. We've got it. We've got this. And so we're going to say goodnight. We only scheduled for 1 hour tonight. I don't see any more comments or questions, which means everybody have a beautiful evening. And we'll see you in the morning when Zelda brings her meditation and more. So let's do this. We're going to say goodbye to our global family now. And everybody have a great week.
We've come to the end of our show today. If you missed any broadcasts, go to our website for the audio and video archives at www.thefemalesolution.com. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussions. And to our global family joining us from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, xie xie. India, Dhanyavad. Japan, arigato. Korea, kamsamnida. Russia, spasiba. Germany, danke. Poland, dziękuję. France, merci. Spain, gracias. Italy, grazie. Egypt, shukran. Ghana, madasi. Nigeria, eshe. South Africa, ngiyabonga. Senegal, jared. Kenya, asante. Israel, toda. Pakistan, shukriya. Afghanistan, tashakur. Saudi Arabia and Palestine, shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you, and may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.
And to all my yogi friends out there, namaste, Satnam, and everybody, love all, love to you, and aloha to all my friends and family in Maui, Lahaina. Stand strong, you got this. And we're praying for your full recovery.